Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 12 of Angular CLI. In this part 12, we'll discuss what is directives, pipes and routing guards in Angular CLI. So I will suggest you before going to this part 12, please visit my part 11, that is create and import module in Angular CLI. You can get this video in my playlist called Angular CLI tutorial. So let's continue. So in this session, what is directives, pipes and routing guards in Angular CLI, and how to generate and import directives, pipes and routing guards in Angular CLI, and know about different options along with ng-generate command to customize the generation of directives, pipes and routing guards using the Angular CLI. So in this video, we'll discuss these things using the Angular CLI, that is the directives, pipes and routing guards. So generating directives, pipes and routing guards and other Angular features is similar to generating component and services. So we discussed generating components and services in the Angular CLI in my previous video. So there is some few commands to generate the directives, pipes and routing guards, and what are the features and the alias of that commands. So the first command is I'll go to my command prompt here. I map to my physical directory of my Angular CLI project and I open this project using core space dot. So my project is opened using Visual Studio Code here, you can see. So my first command should be is generating the directive. So the command is ng-gd for directive and directive name is mydir1, right? So this is the alias of the directive. Otherwise you can put in a complete command called ng-generate directive and directive name. So it will create a directive for us or generate a directive for us. So after then I just click enter here. So we wait for some time and it will process this executing the command, and my directives will be created and its related files in the Visual Studio Code. So we can see here. So guys, here you can see that there is more than one module matches. Use the skip-import option to skip the importing the component into the closest module, or use the module option to specify a module. So especially when you try to generate a directive, pipe or component, and if you have multiple modules in your Angular project, you may get this following error, right? That is the more than one module matches, and you should use that option called skip-import option to skip importing the component into the closest module. So what is the command for this? And this command should be is ng-g for generate, d for directive, mydir, or I can put here mydir2, and I'll put this option called --skip-import. This is the option, and dry run flag. I want to report those files will be affected. So after then I will click enter here. So the error I'll show you here. Here you can see this has multiple modules. So app.module.ts and industry2.module.ts, and there is another modules there. This is the industry2.module.ts is there, and there is some under student one. There is this is the service one, and if you'll go to employee, it is the service. If you go to bill, here you can see modules. So my project contains multiple modules. That's why we have faced this error generating of this directives. So we need to use this skip import option, right? So here you can see that if I'll use that skip import option, these errors are gone, right? So this files will be created when we remove this -d. So let's create this. So I'll do, I'll import this, I'll generate this directive, as well as I will add this into the module, right? I want to import the module and register this inside the module. Otherwise we cannot use this directive across the Angular CLI application. So the command is ng G for generate, D for directive, my dir3 hyphen m means module. I already have described this in earlier videos. Which module I want to register? This module name is app.module, right? So after then I just mention here the -d here. So let's see what the files will be affected in the Angular CLI project. So after then I'll click enter. So this error is why this error is showing. The reason is we are getting this error is we have more than one module in our Angular project, right? I already have told you here. So what is happening is so Angular CLI does not know with which module the newly generated directives, pipes or components should be registered. So we have two options here: use -skip -import option to tell Angular CLI not to import and register the generated component, directive or pipe. So that we have used this skip import option, right? So it is the output of that options. And second option is use dash module or -m. So here you can see, so using that option or alias -m to tell Angular CLI the module with which we want our newly generated component, directive or pipe should be registered. So this command should be for that ngg for generate, D for directive name, and the -m equal to this module I want to register, and -d dry run flag. So now I want to create here the new directive to my Angular project. So if you have just one module in your Angular project, then you would not get this error what is showing here, right? So as the Angular CLI will automatically import and register the newly generated component, directive or pipe with that one existing module. So when generating certain Angular features like services or routing guides, you will not get this error even when you have multiple modules in your project, because by default Angular CLI does not try to import and register these services. So I'll show you to create a directives here, new directive. So my directive is not there, so just I want to mention as my directive 1. So ng G for generate, D for directive, and I want to import and register this directive in app.module, right? So I just click here, enter. So guys, you can see that my directives has been created and it's some files, that is the spec.ts and .ts, and along with that it is imported and registered automatically in the app.model.ts. So I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here, and I can see here these two files right under app folder here. So when I'll open this file, that is the ts, it is the content of directive.ts file, and if I'll go to the spec file, and you can see the content of spec file, and this directive is imported inside the spec.ts. So similarly this directive is imported in my app.model.ts. so here you can see that it is imported, right, the my dir directive here, and this line it is imported my directive 1, and here also inside the declaration array my directive is added, it is a part of the declaration array, right. Here you can see my dir directive, right. So I'll show you another thing. I don't want to register in my or import to my app.model.ts. So for that what I'll do, I just remove this and I'll mention here the rename to my dir2, and I want to mention here --skip -import, right. So after then I click enter here. Here you can see my directive is successfully created, that is the my dir2, but this app.model.ts it is not updated with this dir2 directive, right. So if I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here, you can see my directive 2 is created, but it is not updated inside the app.model.ts file. Here you can see in the import section my dir2 it is not imported, as well as my dir2 it is not a part of this declaration array, because I have used that option, that is --skip -import option. That's why it is not imported and registered inside the app.model.ts file. Alright, so next is I'll tell you about how to generate a routing guard. So the command is ng for generate and g for guard, and the guard name is my guard1 gurd1 my guard1, and after then I'll click enter here. Yeah, see, when you generate a guard, it was asking which interface would you like to implement. So I will create another video regarding this guard in Angular CLI. So see here, so which interfaces would you like to implement? Please press the space to select, or you can use these options to proceed. So as of now I just want to this one. You can see here, right, there's so many options there. Can active child, can activate child, can deactivate, can load. So as of now I want to select is default interface for that guard. So this one is can active, right. So I select this one. You can, by pressing space, you can select or deselect. After then I click enter here, and my guard is successfully created using that interface called can activate, right. So if I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here you can see that my guard is created, that is the guard.ts, and this is the content of guard.ts, and it's spec file, right? So here you can see the spec file, and the guard is imported inside the spec file. But the guard, it is not updated, it is not imported, and it is not a part of that declaration array or import array providers or bootstrap array inside the app.model.ts file. Here you can see that this guard does not import inside the app.model.ts, right? So next command is how to create a pipe. So for pipe, the command is ng for generate, p for pipe, and the pipe name is my pipe 1, right? So this is the command to generate a pipe inside Angular CLI project. After then I click enter here. And one more thing I want to share with you guys. So these errors will not be always shown to while creating a directive, because in my existing project there is so many modules, multiple modules there. That's why I have seen this error while creating a directive due to more than one module matches. So that I have used this skip import option. If you don't have multiple modules, then directly it will create the directives without any error, right? So this is the most important points. You can remember this one. See here guys, it is showing the same issues here for generating pipe, right? What is the use generating for this one directive? The same error is generating for pipes also, but this error was not showing during creation of this one, right? Creation of the interface, right? So what I'll do, I'll use the same thing. So ng g for generate, p for pipe, and my pipe 1, and this dash skip and dash import and dash d. I'll check what are the files has been affected here. But this error not generated for this while I create this guard, right? You can see here. Also guard is not a part of app.model.ts, so that's why by default it was not showing this error that is more than multiple modules. But by default, while you generate this directives or while you generate these pipes, by default it will add to this app.model.ts. It will not require to given the manually this app.model.ts file. Due to multiple modules, I have given that options called -m equal to app.module. I'll skip this import. I can use this dash skip dash -import options, right? So here you can see when I have used this skip import in for that pipe generated. So you can see these files will be generated here, right? So I just remove that dash d here, and I want to create this pipe 1. Guys, you can see my pipes has been successfully created, but it is not imported inside the app.model.ts. So I'll show you. I'll go to my project here. This two files has been created inside my Angular CLI project. I want to see the content of the pipe1.pipe.ts. It is the content of pipe.ts, and it's related as spec file. It is imported here, right? But it is not imported inside the app.model.ts file. You can see here the import options. It's not here for the pipe, right? So I want to import and register this pipe to my Angular CLI project. What I'll do for that is -m equal to app.module, right? And So ng for generate, p for pipe, and I want to create another pipe is my pipe 2, and I want to import and register inside the app.model.ts file. So I have used this command. So after then I click enter, and we check whether the files has been affected and is it imported or not. So you can see my pipe 2 is created or generated, and it is imported inside the app.model.ts. So I'll go to my Angular CLI project here. So here guys, you can see my pipe 2 is created as well as it is imported inside the uh, app.model.ts file, right, using that option. And also it is a part of that declaration array, right, this my pipe to pipe. It is because due to that option -m equal to app.model, it is registered and imported inside the app.model.ts file, right. So this is the most important why this error is generating, and how to skip this error, and how to add the pipe and directive inside the app.model.ts, or import and register inside the app.model.ts. And by default for creating guard or generating guard, it is not showing this error that is more than one module matches, but by default because it is not updated to the app.model.ts file. Alright, so guys, I just want to check whether I want to add that ngg guard inside the app.model.ts, right? So I want to create my guard 2 here, and that's m equal to app.module. Okay, and app.module here. So this will create the guard name is guard2, and it will import and register inside the app.model.ts file. After then I click enter here. Yeah, you can see guys here. So that means -m equal to app.module, -m equal to app.module for guard2. Oh yeah, for guard2 you cannot import this guard inside the app.module.ts file. That's why it is showing one exception, that is unknown option, that is the -m or -m here. Okay, so my there is few last commands or options. So we can always use the options along with ngGenerate command to customize the generation of directives, pipes, and routing guards using the Angular CLI, right? So I'll show you what is the uses of option flat. So this option is ng g for generate, p for pipe, my pipe 2, and I want to here use that dry run flag here. I just want to edit this name, my pipe 3, and write on flag dash -m equal to app.module, and dash dash flat equal to false, right? And click enter. So I already have described what is the uses of flat option in Angular CLI in my previous videos. So guys, you can see here, so flat means it is created its own folder. It is not putting its pipe related contents inside the app folder by default. Instead, it is created its own folder, that is a my-pipe3, right? So inside my-pipe3, my pipe related spec file and ts file, it is generated. So this is the meaning of that flat option. All right, so next one is next command is, that is the how to skip the spec file. So dash dash skip hyphen test equal to false. That means my spec files will be created while we generate this pipe or directive or guard, right? So here I will click enter. Here I put false means my spec files will not be skipped. It will be there while we generate this pipe or directives or routing guards. If I'll put true, then spec file will be skipped. I'll show you in the next command. Oh, I just put the wrong here. Dash dash skip dash tests. I just missed that S. So equal to false, and I click enter here. So here you can see guys, my spec files is not skipped because I may make here false for skip test options. That's why these files will be created along with it will register inside the app.model.ts. But for my requirement, I want to skip this spec file. So for that I just mention here true. So ngg for generate, p for pipe, my-pipe3 -d, and app.module. Inside the module we need to register, and I want to skip this spec file. So I equal to true. When I click enter, so we can see here that the spec files will be skipped inside in the output of that execution of command. Here you can see that there is only one file has been created for pipe 3, that is the .ts, but the spec.ts it is not generated because I have used that option skip -tests equal to true. That's why the spec file is skipped from during the generating of that pipe, right? And it is also updated with that app.model.ts file, right? But the spec file is skipped. This is the meaning of that dash dash skip dash tests equal to true. So this is all about this execution of commands for generating and customize the directives, guards and pipes, and using different options, and how to skip this error that is more than one module matches during generating of directives and pipes, but by default it was not available for that routing guard, and how to register and import inside the module file. Alright, so I'll go to here. So what is directives, pipes and routing guards? So directives are classes that add additional behavior to elements in your Angular applications, using Angular's built-in directives to manage forms, lists, styles. Pipes are simple functions to use in template expressions to accept an input value and return a transformed value. Pipes are useful because you can use them throughout your application while only declaring each pipe once. So guards in Angular are nothing but the functionality, logic and code which are executed before the route is loaded or the ones leaving the route. So this is the definitions for directives, pipes and routing guards. So different types of guards I'll show you here. So guys, you remember while we generating a guard, there is some option it was asking to you why, that is about which interface would you like to implement. So by default it is can activate. I selected during generating of guard. So that's I mentioned here different types of guards, that is can activate child, can deactivate, resolve and can load. So can activate is this guard declares if a route can be activated, and can activate child, it is this guard determines whether a child route can be activated. This guard is similar to can activate guard. Can deactivate, this guard decides if the user can leave the component. This route is useful in where the user might have some pending changes which was not saved. And resolve is this guard delays the activation of the route until some tasks are completed or done. And can load, that guard is the can load, the guard prevents the loading of lazy loaded module. We generally use this guard when we don't want to unauthorized user to be able to even see the source code of that module. So this is the types of guards and its definitions. So to generate and import this directives, pipes and guards, how to import and register inside the module file. So for directive, it is ng generate directive, directive name, or the alias is ngg for generate, d for directive and directive name. For pipe, ng generate pipe name, its alias is ng, g for generate, p for pipe and pipe name. For routing guard, this command is ng generate guard name, or the alias is ng, g for guard, g for generate, g for guard and the guard name. And the directives pipes will be registered in app.module.ts file after adding import statement and in declaration array. So this is the import statements while we generate the directives and pipes inside the app.module.ts. It will be added automatically by the Angular CLI in the module file. After then the import my directive and my pipe name will be added inside the declaration array. Here you can see. So what are the different options we have described today? So this one, the flat option specifies if a dedicated folder should be created, and dry run flag, it imports the files and folders will be generated without actually generating them. And skip tests, it specifies if a spec file should be generated, and --m, or you can use a alias called -m. It specifies the module with which the newly generated Angular features should be registered. And next one is -skip -import. It is the use this option to tell Angular CLI not to import and register the generated component, directive or pipe. But for the myguard, this one is not required because it is not added to the module or registered inside the module file. This is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the up-to-date knowledge on .NET, .NET Core, MVC, C#, SQL Server, DevOps and GitHub. So in this video, what we have described today, what is directives, pipes and routing guards in Angular CLI, how to generate and import directives, pipes and routing guards in Angular CLI, and if we face any error during generate of directives and pipes, what we use one option called -skip -import option, and how to register inside the module file to use that directive or pipe across the Angular CLI project, and what are the different options along with the nggenerate command to customize the generation of directives, pipes and routing guards using the Angular CLI. So that's it for today guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.